Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. What if I told you that I was trading out Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, Miles Davis, John Coltrane records, classics, for Dan Fogelberg and Barry Manilow? You'd be like, I'm not sure I believe you. Or you would be like, wow, that is so uncool. Why would you do that? Well, it's for a reason that a lot of vinyl collectors, after you've been doing this for a while, you will understand. If you're newer to vinyl collecting, you're probably not here yet. But if you've been collecting for a while, you get to a point where you gotta let some stuff go. I'm at a point now where I need to buy a new shelf or have a purge and get rid of some stuff. There are so many reasons why we decide to let records go. One of them is money. Some records are worth a lot of money, and if they're not as important to you as the money is, you trade them in, you sell them, and you get the money. For some of us, like myself, it's for space issues. I'm not saying I will never buy another bookshelf, but I'm not wanting to do that yet. There are enough records in my collection that I can let go of to avoid buying another shelf and yet taking up that much more space. Also, a lot of times we buy something just blind buy. We see something that looks interesting, we grab it, we listen to it a few times, and we're like, I'm not really getting into it. And it's okay to let that go. Let that go to someone who is searching for it and would love to have it. That's wonderful. Also, sometimes we let go of records because of sound quality. They just don't sound that good. And I'm learning that with my new stereo equipment. I'm getting to a point where I just want something to sound amazing. The music has to be great, but the sound quality has to be great as well. And a lot of times, we trade records, we find something we really like, and then we find another copy of it that has less surface noise, pops and clicks, and we let go of the first one we found and keep the quieter version. There's just a lot of reasons. Another one might be bad album covers. You get something with heavy ring wear and you want to trade it out for something better. So there's a lot of reasons why we trade out records, get rid of records, and purge them out of our collections. I'm going to be showing you a handful of amazing records that I've just decided I don't need anymore for a lot of different reasons. So let's get started with the first one, Kelly Clarkson, Breakaway. This is a record I like the music, I really do, but it just does not sound good on vinyl. It was recorded in a time where vinyl was not even considered. It's digital, it's meant for streaming, it's meant for CDs. It was really never meant for vinyl, and they did not, in my opinion, I don't know what they did. I don't think they took the time or care to make it sound good on vinyl. It was, for me, what I would consider a cash grab for a collector. Nothing wrong with a collector if you want to have a Kelly Clarkson record that brings back special memories. And I agree, the music's very good. Kelly Clarkson is an excellent singer, but for the money and for what this is worth, I would just rather stream it and get a little money for that copy. The next two records I'm going to be showing are excellent records, originals. I'm finding these days originals are hard to let go of because eventually analog is going to be no more, and the tapes will no longer be good. They're never going to go back to them. So I think in the future, digital is going to be all we have. So it's hard to let go of originals, but I recently placed an order for a couple of upgrades of these two records I'm going to be showing. I ordered them from the In Groove, and hopefully I will be getting them soon. First one is Face Value by Phil Collins. I was not going to buy the Analog Productions 75th anniversary of this record, but so far the reviews have been so excellent that with my new stereo equipment, I'm thinking, I want to hear In the Air Tonight the best it can sound. And I do like some of the songs on here. I like his version of Tomorrow Never Knows. It's not the Beatles version, but it's really cool. I like his sound. I like his drumming. And I want to have that one. So if the 75th Atlantic Anniversary Edition by Analog Productions sounds a lot better, this one will leave the collection. I don't need 2 copies of that same record. Same with this. Dire Straits. This is the debut album. It's a promotional copy. Sound quality wise, this is absolutely amazing. It's a great album already from start to finish. The guitar playing is gorgeous on here. It sounds great. The problem is the vinyl itself. This copy has a lot of clicks and pops, and it's very, very distracting. So along with Face Value, I ordered from the In-Groove the Mobile Fidelity Dire Straits 45 RPM version of this debut album. And with hopes that that one is going to sound amazing, I will probably let this go. It's kind of painful because it's a promotional copy, but I'm going to let it go. I don't need surface noise. If those are 2 records that if I have an amazing sounding copy of them, one is all I need. These next records I'm going to be showing are cool jazz records that, for different reasons, I'm letting go out of the collection. And I do want to mention all of this stack of records, they're going to go to my daughter. She has not been able to update her vinyl collection in a long time. For one, she's very busy. She doesn't go to vinyl stores. She doesn't have any hobbies. She's in medical school. And money-wise, things are tight for her too. So she just doesn't have any hobbies she spends money on right now. So these will go to her. The ones she wants, she'll keep. The ones she doesn't, she'll go to a record store and hopefully exchange them for records she does want. Here is one. This is an Analog Productions Prestige title. And why in the world would I still have one of these by John Coltrane, Soul Train? An amazing record. Why is it still sealed? I think a lot of us can say that we've accidentally ordered 2. Probably a couple of years ago, I wanted to have this one in the collection and it wasn't available, so I did a pre-order and then forgot about the pre-order and ordered it again when it came in stock. So yes, I got 2 copies of the same thing. I don't need 2. So I'm giving this one to my daughter. The next records I'm going to show, this one in particular, again, this is really, really good. This is Miles Davis, Roundabout Midnight, a great record. And I found this one, it's a mono version. And then when the Mobile Fidelity version came back in stock, I ordered it. So I have 2 copies of this same record, and it's not one of those that rise to the need of having 2 copies. Yes, there is a time and place in my collection for multiple copies of the same album. Think Odyssey and Oracle by the Zombies. Think records by Van Halen. You know, those top favorite records. Yes, I don't mind having multiple copies of the same thing. Roundabout Midnight, I consider that one a one and done. Get the best sounding version. You could make an argument. This one's a mono version. The Mobile Fidelity version is stereo. And I get that. And with some Beatles records, I'm with you. Yes, I will have both, and I can make a good argument why I want both. That's just not one of those records where I feel like I need to have a stereo version and a mono version. And in order to make room for other records that I want, I got to let something go. Here is another one. This fits the, ringwear excuse. I bought this one and then found, by the way, this is a second pressing of Miles Davis' Bitches Brew. A really cool record. And it's in absolutely clean condition. So my daughter, if she likes the music, will like this. Now this is some more free jazz, a little out there. It might take her a few listens. It did me. But it's a second pressing with a lot of ringwear, gorgeous vinyl. But I found a first pressing of it. This one is on that 360 Columbia label. My first pressing is on the 2i Columbia. I also have the MoFi 45 RPM. That is enough for me. She hopefully will enjoy that one. If not, she'll trade it in for something she does enjoy. But yes, ringwear, album cover. I think that's a beautiful album cover, and I like having a cleaner version of it. This next record is one that, man, I can't. I would be very disappointed if she didn't like it and traded it in, and I don't think she will. One of the things she has told me that has made me extremely happy is that when I'm gone, she's definitely keeping the jazz portion of my collection. She makes no promises about any of the others, but she's keeping the jazz records. So that makes my heart feel so good. In the meantime, I'm going to pass this one on to her. Bill Evans, Portrait in Jazz. This is a beautiful record. This is an original jazz classic OJC version of this. And to be honest with you, those OJCs you get so much bang for your buck. I think they all, at least the ones I've owned, they all sound really wonderful. But I have the Bill Evans box set from Analog Productions. I don't need another copy of this. Yes, you could make the argument the 45 RPM version is in that box set. This is 33 RPM. But I am making some difficult choices, and I don't need two of the same of this record. And I understand sometimes it's cool to put on the 33 RPM and you just don't have to flip the record as often. But I'm going to let this one go and let my daughter enjoy it. Knowing it's going to her, a lot of these, I'll admit, it makes it a lot less painful. Here's another record, and I tend to collect mobile Fidelity records. So this one is like, why would you let go of that? Well, practically speaking, yes, this is an early 80s version of this from Mobile Fidelity, and I've enjoyed it, but they put out a reissue of this more recently in the 2000s that I enjoy and I think sounds a lot better than this 80s version. So I don't need two Mobile Fidelity versions of Supertramp Breakfast in America. It's a great record. One is enough for me. Yes, she's going to be getting a 33 RPM version. I'm keeping my 45 RPM version. But for me, this one is the right copy. And again, I do like to have a lot of Mobile Fidelity records, but I'm not collecting them. I don't collect records for brand names. I don't need two of the same record by the same company. So I'm keeping the one I prefer the most, and I'm letting the other one go. Same goes for this. This is something I have multiple copies of. I don't need this particular copy. This is the Beatles, 1966 through 1970. This one is on blue vinyl. It says on here, limited edition, digitally remastered. These are worth a little bit of money. They're not extremely expensive, but they're not cheap. They came on this beautiful blue vinyl. So people who collect colored vinyl, definitely, this is a cool one to have. And I agree, it's beautiful. I enjoy it. It was fun to find. Have great memories of buying these records. But when I pull the Beatles' greatest hits records out, I don't pull this particular version of them. I have better sounding records. Same goes for this one. I have the red vinyl version. Again, it says red vinyl, digitally remastered. And I also have those Capitol records from years ago that are on red and blue vinyl as well. I'm not ready to let those go, but I think I'm ready to let these digitally remastered versions go. They're really pretty, but you know, my daughter could probably enjoy these, and if she decides she doesn't, she could probably get a little bit of money out of these records. So here is another Beatles record I don't need, and it's just because I had a deal where I already had this record, but I found another copy, and it was so inexpensive. We're talking like $9 for something that sells for so much more. It is the Beatles' Sgt Pepper. This is the Giles Martin remix, but what makes this one so unique and so special, it has a second LP of outtakes attached to it. And this was probably pressed once, maybe twice, and you can't really find this one anymore. You can still get that Giles Martin remix, the single Sgt Pepper, pretty easily, but it's hard to find the one that has the outtakes. So I found another copy of this. I already have one. I don't need a sealed copy of extra. You know, I bought it thinking I could give it to somebody or trade it, just whatever, because they're worth more, way more than what I paid for it. But again, it's taking up room on the shelf, and I don't need that. So my daughter is going to either open that and listen to it and enjoy it, or she's going to be able to trade it in and get a little money and buy something else she'd rather have. Houses of the Holy. This is a beautiful record by Led Zeppelin, one of my favorites. It's really climbed up there as one of my favorites, and this is a Japanese pressing. I talked about this record a couple of months ago. I recently found a better sounding version of this in every way. Better, doesn't have surface noise. It actually sounds better. Just overall a better pressing of this record. So while this one is not bad, it sounds pretty good. It's not as good as what I have now. So I don't need 2 copies of this same record. So I don't even think my daughter is going to keep this one. I think she actually has a better pressing of it as well, but I don't need 2 copies, so I'm going to let that one go. Here's one more I'm going to show you, Dark Side of the Moon, and a lot of people would be like, why are you letting that go? That is a beautiful copy. Yes, it is. And I would say before I went and bought an old pressing of this record with visible scratches or any kind of places or marks on it at all, I would go buy a brand new version. This one is a great one. It sounds very, very good, and you want something to be as quiet as possible for this record. Truth is, I have a mobile Fidelity version that is dead quiet and beautiful, and I also have a mint copy of the 30th anniversary. It's mint to me because, I mean, it doesn't have any clicks and pops, but I do play it, so I don't need a 3rd copy of Dark Side of the Moon. I'm not saying this is a bad version to own. It's not. I just prefer the other 2. But before I went and bought a beat up version of this record, I highly recommend this one. I just don't need it anymore. So I'm letting those records go, but guess what I'm bringing in? And y'all are going to think I'm crazy, and I get that. I was at an antique store the other day, and I've been putting down antique stores for their crazy prices. Well, I found a group of 10 to 12 boxes crammed full of records. Every record was $1. And I was looking through them, and it just put a smile on my face. I'll be honest with you, when it comes to my mom, it was like they had found her old record collection. She had everything that you see in dollar bins nowadays. The Barry Manilows, the Helen Reddy. She had Barbra Streisand. She had all of the stuff you would expect. Ray Conniff singers. Well, I picked up a couple of records from that. I've got a couple that are cool finds too, so hang in for that. First off, yes, I bought a Barry Manilow record. For one, my mom owned it, and I recognized every single song. When I saw the title, I immediately in my head popped up songs I hadn't thought about in years. This one has a hype sticker for Looks Like We Made It. Weekend in New England was another big hit. I really enjoy Barry Manilow every once in a while. I don't listen to him all the time, but every once in a while, like around my mom's birthday or just when I'm in this nostalgic mood, I like to put him on. This is a really good one, and it has this cool hype sticker. It also has Kmart stickers, and that also brings back memories, you know, where I used to shop for records. There was a record store that we used to go to, or Kmart, I should say. It was a Kmart we used to go to, and my mom would go shopping for other things. My sister and I would immediately run to the record area, look through music. Every once in a while, my mom would buy something. Most of the time, she said, no, not this week. But it's very cool to have the Kmart sticker because that's where a lot of our records would come from. And to this day, the building that Kmart was in, that we used to shop at, is now a flea market. And around that same area where the old music department was, I still find records there at this flea market. So in a way, I'm still shopping at Kmart in my heart for records here and there. And it was very cool to find this one still in shrink with a hype sticker. And this is one I've been wanting for a long time. Again, $1, Dan Fogelberg's greatest hits. This is all I need from Dan Fogelberg, but my goodness, it's so incredible. Longer, of course, was a beautiful song. Leader of the band is a little bit of a tearjerker. Run for the Roses. I live in Kentucky, so the Kentucky Derby is a huge thing for us, and that song is great to hear in May around the time of the Derby. I always enjoy it, and I dare you to listen to Same Old Lang Syne. Just for a moment, I was back in school and felt that old familiar pain. Try listening to that and not tear up just a little bit. It's just such a beautiful song that tells a story that we can all relate to. And Dan Fogelberg was amazing. And for $1, I found that. These next two records might make me look a little more cool. This is Kiss. For $1, I found a 45 of Forever, backed with The Street Giveth and The Street Taketh Away. Kiss collectors, I should say, would probably appreciate that for $1. And I also found, for a lot of you jazz lovers, Ella Fitzgerald. This is the Rodgers and Hart songbook. It is a Verve record, and it is in absolutely gorgeous condition. So yes, I found a few dollar records that are a little corny, and I'm trading out all of these other records. But you know, in the end, I probably, realistically, in most cases, need only one record, you know, just one copy of one record. And I would rather have more music and have room on my shelves for them. So if you saw something in this video that you could make an argument for why I should keep these records, let me know in the comments. If you have records that you need to let go of, I want to hear your stories too. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.